Some pretty significant leaks, for sure.
What the city is saying about a recent barrage of water main breaks also.
A few days later, we came in and the rest of the fence was down.
Vandalism causing frustrations for one local nonprofit, and it's all caught on camera. And
a lot of people depend on these weather forecasts.
We'll meet a Will James student who always has his eyes on the weather. The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us on your Friday. I'm Russ Riesinger. Flooding has hit parts of Billings hard this past week, but Mother Nature had nothing to do with it. The city has seen 5 water main breaks, ranging from small leaks to one that caused thousands of dollars in damage for one resident. Our Isabel Sparts dives deeper into the costs and what the city is doing to try and prevent them.
These are just some of the scenes we've shown you from Memorial Day weekend.
It's a lot of water. I mean, it was pouring. It looked like a river was coming through here.
5 total water line breaks around Billings, like here on Cook Avenue, from a burst hydrant line that filled the entire street to even one apartment being flooded near Central and 17th.
I mean, the way I would describe it, it was like the Titanic when it was rushing down the stairs.
A frustration for many residents and city crews.
It did stretch the crews pretty thin.
And while these numbers are high, they don't come as a surprise. Public Works Director Debbie Melling says anytime pressure or demand changes, like the start of summer or a cold winter spell, weak spots in the system are discovered.
This weekend, demand increased across the system. So we typically run about 16 million gallons per day in the winter, and we ran about 30 all weekend.
Each year, 50 to 60 water breaks typically occur. Costs can range from several thousand to upwards of $20,000, depending on the damages, and they could cost the city up to $500,000 a year on the high end.
We had one this weekend that was a 12-inch that completely blew the pipe. Like half of the pipe was gone. So those put out a lot of water really quickly, and we see more damage on those.
But it used to be much worse. The city once saw more than 200 breaks annually. That number has decreased thanks to a pipe replacement program. The typical age of water pipes in Billings are less than 20 years old, but some, like on 2nd Avenue North, are over 100.
The goal is to replace 1% a year. So 1% of the pipe, we have 500 miles of pipe. And so that puts you at about 5 miles a year we try to get replaced.
Old spots or those with multiple leaks get on the list first to be replaced, usually going from iron to PVC, which costs more than $5 million a year to install, which is why the city is trying to get in front of the problem.
Prevention costs much less than reaction. So if we can get ahead of it and do it before we have problems, it's definitely the better way to do it.
It's something homeowners would like to see as well. In Billings, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.
Billings' historic Babcock Theater has been forced to close temporarily after a section of the aging ceiling collapsed earlier this week. No one was in the building when it happened during the overnight hours Wednesday. Damage from the falling debris is mostly limited to balcony seating, but there's a lot of dust and debris.
I think the hardest part for us right now is we had months of programming, whether it's event rentals, people coming in to use the space, or things that we want to do ourselves that we just have had to take off the books at this point. As far as when we can start putting things back on the books, we have no clue.
Assessment of the damage is still being made, and it's unknown how long the theater may have to be closed. And a Billings nonprofit is left picking up the pieces after vandals repeatedly damaged their fence, causing thousands of dollars in damage. Those young vandals captured on video. Our Vanessa Willardson has more on the frustrations they've left behind.
I would say it started a few months ago. We noticed half of the fence was down and a large group of kids that parked in the parking lot next to us.
Ronnie Jo Horse with Western Native Voice, a Montana-based nonprofit organization, has seen her fair share of vandalism.
A few days later, we came in and the rest of the fence was down.
The executive director adds that the barrier was supposed to keep trash off the property. But as you can see in this security camera video, a group of people damaged it beyond repair only a few months after it was built.
It's just kind of like a shield that we have, but yeah. Kind of disheartening to see.
The nonprofit spent $30,000 on the fence last year. Now, due to the vandalism, they're choosing to take it down.
We're a nonprofit, so that means we have to raise all of our dollars. And so this was kind of what made this more difficult for us.
The organization is encouraging anyone with information about the crime to come forward.
I know that there's faces showing in the video, so if anyone can help, that would be really great to contact the police department.
If you would like to leave a tip, you can find more information with this story on ktvq.com. In Billings, Vanessa Willardson, MTN News.
More arrests have been made in the murder of 51-year-old Keith Breckenridge, who was found stabbed to death in an alley on Billings South Side. We told you earlier this week that Violet Littlelight was arrested and charged with deliberate homicide in the case. Today, another suspect, 19-year-old Cheyenne White Wolf, appeared in court and pled not guilty to a charge of deliberate homicide. She had her bond set at $510,000. 30-year-old Brian Contreras is also facing deliberate homicide charges in the case. After judges in Montana sided with a group of young plaintiffs in the high-profile Held climate change lawsuit, some of that group is now backing a new suit, this one challenging the Trump administration's energy policies. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian spoke with one of the plaintiffs about why they're taking this step.
In the summer of 2023, the Lewis and Clark County Courthouse played host to a week-long trial after 16 young plaintiffs filed suit, arguing the state of Montana wasn't protecting their right to a clean and healthful environment. Now 10 of those plaintiffs are leading a new group of 22 who are making similar arguments against President Donald Trump's executive orders seeking to boost fossil fuel production.
All of us care about our collective futures. You know, all of us are uncertain about where the future is going and just how bad it could be. And I think that we have a lot of hope and want to use our voices to try and make change.
Eva Lighthizer, a 19-year-old from Livingston, is the lead plaintiff whose name will be on the case.
What worries me is the fact that we're at a time where we need to be taking action against climate change, and that is not happening. Instead, it's going in the reverse.
The plaintiffs filed their case in federal court in Butte. They're suing Trump along with around a dozen federal agencies on their heads, seeking to block 3 executive orders. One reversing regulations the administration says burden the development of energy resources, particularly oil, natural gas, and coal. One declaring an energy emergency and speeding up production and delivery of those resources, and one encouraging more production and use of coal. The administration says the policies are needed to maintain the country's energy supply and bring down high costs. The plaintiffs argue they've suffered harms from things like hotter summers and wildfires, that climate change has worsened those problems, and that Trump's orders are ignoring the possible impacts of more greenhouse gas emissions.
We're arguing that the executive orders, by unleashing fossil fuels, blocking renewables, censoring climate science, are violating the plaintiffs' fundamental rights to life and liberty, which includes the right to health and security. And unfortunately, at this point in time, I think we have a strong body of evidence to support those claims.
15 of the 22 plaintiffs, including the 10 from the Held case, are from Montana. The rest of them are from Oregon, California, Florida, and Hawaii. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
And good Friday evening, everyone. It's been a blustery day for a large portion of the northern Rockies, all due to this area low pressure centered over southern Saskatchewan. It gave us a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity over northeastern Montana, but in general, it was just a little bit of cloud cover, lots of sunshine, gusty wind, and a minor cool down for some locations. But as you can see, the temperatures were not very affected around the Billings area. Had a mild low of 56 and a warmer than average high of 79 degrees, 7 degrees warmer than average, nowhere near a record, but we do have some changes going forward. We're going to have a reduction in that wind speed, and the few clouds that we have are going to go away. Lots of sunshine and very warm weather on Saturday. However, enjoy it while you can. Changes are coming. Your forecast coming up.
Every Friday, one Will James 6th grader is forecasting fun and flurries at his school, inspired by none other than those here at Q2. Our Marcus Kakova and Ed McIntosh spent the morning forecasting with the pint-sized predictor making whirlwinds in the weather world.
On Friday mornings, when most kids are counting the seconds on the clock, Will James middle schooler Nate Blakesley is considering cold fronts and cloud cover.
I've heard teachers say that the whole class goes quiet.
It's great for mom because people like my weather reports. That's why some people call me famous. Sunny the whole weekend.
Starting the day at 8:10, Nate delivers his own weekend forecast as a part of the morning announcements, a routine that started simply.
Well, thanks for asking, because I love the outdoors a lot.
But Nate, like any good Montana meteorologist, says he was inspired to share that love by the work done right here at MTN.
When I saw your guys' app a couple years ago, it really encouraged me to really like weather.
So Ed McIntosh met this junior storm tracker for a one-on-one.
Hey, Mama McIntosh.
It's good to see you. It's good to meet a fellow weatherman.
He's a pretty cool dude. I heard pretty good stuff.
But Ed isn't getting any special TV treatment. Nate regularly provides personalized insights for everyone around him.
He writes out the weather report for teachers and his friends. He'll give a one-to-one weather report to some of his teachers. Everyone needs to know the weather. And so I think that he likes to be a part of the community, his school community with that.
For Nate, this has never been about temperatures or trends. His forecasts may involve science, the outdoors, but his passion is for people.
Well, passion is always a great thing because everyone needs passion. A lot of people depend on these weather forecasts.
Marcus Kakova, MTN News.